Hey, Mike, how are you?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Excellent. I guess let me introduce myself and then go ahead and introduce yourself, and then we'll go ahead and address the questions, all right?
Sounds good.
Right now, I'm a professor here at the University of Tampa. For years beforehand, I grew up in professional sales. Now I'm currently teaching it in and out of the classroom, and currently launching a hold your hand step-by-step kind of a process of sales for the entrepreneur. And I'm anxious to help you out, and hopefully I can. But if you don't mind, tell me a little bit more about yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So I started a company called Mappify, and it was a product that we were selling to cities to help them map out their parking. Got slapped in the face with how long the sales cycle is working with cities, so kind of pivoted and started a design development agency called Told Media to fund and bootstrap Mappify while we kind of get through that sales cycle. So at Told Media, what we do, again, we're a digital product agency that helps impactful businesses design, develop apps, websites, and software. And we typically work with startups to kind of help them come up with a game plan to verify their idea and build out an MVP before actually building out their entire app.
Excellent. And then I have it here in front of me, but if you don't mind, go ahead and ask your question, and we'll start that way.
Yeah. So my question for you has to do with sales. So when you're starting out, how do you go about establishing a good sales funnel, and how do you get a strong sales process up and running from the beginning?
Okay, all right. Good questions, very common questions, and ones we've all had to do launching our businesses. Figured I'd address this in a general way to start, and then I have some general funnel building tips for anyone out there. And if you want to get more specific as we go along, please ask the questions. And then if we want to get more specific afterwards, I'd be more than happy to work with you off screen if we start running out of time.
Thanks, I appreciate
that. Yeah, of course. We entrepreneurs are the first in sales, right? We are Salesforce to start. Even before we get all the funding to hire a Salesforce, we are our sales force. So it is very critical, and we do it every day. This is even beyond the pitch. So it's very critical. For those out there that don't know what Mike is talking about, referring to a sales funnel, go and pause this, Google it. We're going to be talking about sales funnel. There's many variations of it. All of us consultants make a change so we can trademark our own. But we'll deal with the most common one in here today. And if you think about a funnel that you use every day, and this is for the people that don't understand the sales funnel concept, a funnel is wide at the top, at the mouth, and comes down to a fine point. And in a sales funnel, referring to is that wide mouth is where we're entering the potential buyers of our product, our hopeful future clients, if you will. And we go through a sales process, which leads us down to the tip of the funnel, and that is where our commitments come from, our sales, which turns into our revenue and, of course, hopefully our success. Now, the question comes, why is it a funnel? Why do we have a wide mouth and to a fine point down at the bottom? Well, the reality is of course, all the businesses, and Mike, in your case, all the municipalities, if you will, out there may not need our product, may not see the benefit of our product, or we may make mistakes. And some of these clients, potential clients, are going to fall out of our funnel and leave us with fewer at the bottom. The goal of what we want to do today is shorten and shrink the mouth so we have more qualified people, companies, municipalities entering the funnel and grow the bottom of it. In essence, becoming better at what we do when it comes to sales. So that's kind of what we'll talk about today. Again, if you will, I'll go through some tips, and then as we go through relevant ones, when you have questions regarding that, just stop me and we'll stop there. But my first tip for you when developing a sales funnel is to find out who you are targeting. Yes, your client is municipalities. Is that fair to say?
Correct. Yeah. Typically parking managers of municipalities.
Okay, of municipalities. Okay, great. So, what you want to find out is what type of municipalities might be best suited for your product. Who out there, as far as parking managers for municipalities, will better see the benefit in exchange for the cost that they're giving up. In other words, the value, if it was a formula. Not every municipality is the same. Some are you can look at it in terms of size. Some are going to be immensely large, and some are going to be extremely small. Some are going to be more urban based. Some are going to be more, Mayberry, whatever it might be. If you can find what distinguishes one municipality type to another, and then locate why that one type of municipality with its parking situation is in more need and would more readily buy into this product, then the top of your funnel doesn't need to be so broad. The broader the top of the funnel, the more work we're doing in the funnel to get the results we want out of the bottom of the funnel. So do a little research, a little heads up research that you can, to see if you can notice any distinguishing factors between different types of municipalities that are going to be those that take action versus those that don't. That'll take you so much longer down the road. Now, you might not know the answer to that question right now, but keep an eye out for it. Right? It'll definitely make your work much more efficient. Right? Second tip number 2 is, instead of just calling up these parking managers, what we might say cold call, after you get their contact information, start by softening them up first, by sending them emails, sending them physical mail, brochures, etc. Let them become aware of who you are first before you go knocking on their door, so to say. This, as we say, softens them up as they enter the top of the funnel. They may even be so curious after your email or your mailing to visit the website, see how it benefits them, especially once you get some testimonials and you're able to place those out there and they see that municipality in this other town that's not too far, they can relate to. That'll really soften them up. And that way, when you do make that phone call, it's not a cold call, it's a warm call. And they'll recognize you right away, or you might have to them who you are.
Yeah,
you have a question?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that's good advice. Right now, what I'm trying to figure out is, how does that actually look? Like when you're sending that first email and you're putting them through that campaign of maybe 6 to 8 touch points. Like, what's that first email look like? Is it kind of like, hey, I saw you're struggling with this, this, and this. Here's a video of what we do, etc. Or is it more like what would that first cold email be that you're sending before you're kind of doing the cold call?
Right. Well, you don't want to sell right away, right?
Yeah.
Too many of us want to sell right away, and we get into that selling mode, and it really makes the other side defensive because they believe you're just another salesman, pushing something upon them.
Yeah.
So reach out, let them get to know you a little bit. Very little information. Provide them with the link. Provide them with an email. If you get testimonials from some existing clients, definitely provide that. All I can say at first is to take it soft. Right? Take it very soft. It may take a while. Some will see the benefit right away, but most of the sale is going to be when you're face to face, whether it be in person or Skype or what have you. Don't try to sell it up front, right?
And I think it's important. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was just going to say, I think it's important to obviously add value and show them value before you're going into selling. But my biggest question is, how do you do that through the cold email? I mean, they never talked to you before. What does that typically look like? Is it like, hey, I saw the city of Houston struggling with XYZ. I read this article, maybe
Right.
this would help. I don't know. Like, is that kind of typically how you'd structure that first email in the campaign?
Before I go too deep into the funnel, already communicating with them in that directive a manner, I would just give them an informational email, a generic email about you and your company. All right, don't talk about how you can help them or how you've helped another town, what have you. Just send them an informational email. And again, you'd be amazed. Parking managers these days, even though technology is around, they still like to open up something. So if you develop a brochure and they receive that and it comes to their office, their office mail, and they open it up before they toss it, right? It's just information. That's the first step. Don't try to offer them something yet. Just let them become aware of you, right? That's all you have to do in step number one. Step number two, after you've sent those to a number of potential municipalities, then start reaching out to them with more directional emails. You may have seen my email that I've sent you 2 weeks ago. I was thinking, I was thinking about your municipality when I sent this that previous email. A comparable municipality in such and such town was able to benefit by using our services. I would love the opportunity to sit down with you and talk sometime. Again, via Skype, however you're going to do it, right? But that's all you have to do, right? You're not selling over the email. You're not selling through the mail. And you're not even selling when you get them on the phone. You're selling when you have them on Skype or in person, right? So don't go too far by explaining everything and showing them that value too early. All you want is the opportunity to meet with them, because that is where that's where the magic happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you do it too early, you blow it. You give up too much too early. So just ask for 15 minutes, 30 minutes of their time through Skype, FaceTime, however you're going to communicate with them. And at that opportunity is where more of the sales call magic happens. And that's a whole nother topic, but there's a lot to be learned there. Absolutely. So yeah, start off with just informational awareness. You don't even have to really get into deep of how it specifically benefits them, but how the package works, product offering works. Okay?
Yeah, makes sense.
So here's a couple other things that you also have to keep in mind, right? To keep the top of that funnel full at all times, right? Because there's that sales process takes time. It'll take you weeks, maybe months, maybe even a year or two from when one municipality park manager gets it at the top to the sale, the commitment at the bottom. And what we commonly do especially when we're less experienced in sales, is we get excited as we get closer and closer to that time where we know they'll purchase from us soon, all right, or they'll commit to us soon, I should say. And then we start focusing on them, and we forget to keep filling up the top, right? So always keep filling. And the next tip is related to that. Build yourself a process that is continuously filling the top, giving yourself goals and quotas every week to send out phase one emails, X number of emails every week. Reply to phase one emails, number of those every week. Make X number of calls every week. Try to set X number of visits or Skype interviews every week. And give yourself that quota every single week, every single month. And that'll help alleviate any fluctuations in the ebb and flow of municipalities working through your funnel. Because if you focused here and you forgot to fill them up here, you're going to go a good period of time without cash flow. And that's right. And then last one here, I just want to help, I know we're on time here, is measure everything, right? Measure everything. Do it by hand on an Excel spreadsheet, if you will. Eventually, you will, I know, grow big enough where you'll use some form of sales CRM system but measure the steps and the success rates at each level of that funnel, because you'll find leakage and you'll find where those potential clients left the sales funnel, and you'll notice where you're the weakest. Our emails, our initial emails, are not having the success rates that we'd like. We need to redesign those. Our phone calls, calling on people that have received emails, are not hitting home hard enough. We're losing people there. What am I saying wrong, or what am I doing wrong on the phone call that I need to improve, right? Same thing with on the actual sales call when you're face to face with them. Why are we not closing or getting enough commitments at that point? It should be higher by looking at our measurements. I need to work on that somehow, right? So if you measure, you can find out where your weaknesses are and work on it. You can self-teach yourself. You could look for outside help, whatever. I'll always be more than willing to chime in anytime that you like with specifics. There are a ton of things out there. What you're doing is helping, right? You're not selling, you're helping municipalities. And keep that in mind. You're not being salesy at any time unless you're trying to push it on them. Be there to help them, right? I'll end it here with a quote. One of my favorite salespeople of all time is Zig Ziglar, right? You can get everything you want out of life so long as you're willing to help enough people get what they want, right? And that's exactly what us entrepreneurs are doing. We're helping other businesses or other people, and in return, we're helping ourselves, right? So each email is unique to its own individual company. If you'd like help on wording specific emails to send out, I'd be happy to work offline. Okay?
I appreciate that. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Mike. Good luck with everything.
Yeah, thanks.